What up, what up, what up? It's Lady Perm, LADIEPURM, coming to you live with Thaahum here, who
What's up, y'all?
is just going to spend some time with us, chill, kick it for a little bit. So, first and foremost, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. You know, we're out here chilling in, what is this, Awatuki at
we in the
Reckless Creations cookout. My homegirl got a really dope clothing line, Reckless Creations. Go check it out. And I just came out, to support.
Absolutely. So we've had an opportunity to kind of talk a little bit and get to know one another. This is my first time actually meeting Thaahum in person. We've been kind of mingling a little bit on Facebook.
Emailing back and forth.
Emailing, Facebooking, which again, I appreciate the support and the encouragement that you have been showing Lady Perm through the cyber world. But now we're in the outer net right now.
Yeah, we in real life right now.
We in real life.
This is it in real life. But we're going to present it to y'all in the cyber world to bring y'all back to real life.
Absolutely. Now you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice. So the first time that I was actually introduced to Thaahum was through the Looking Ass Coon that he did around the time that Nicki Minaj had launched Looking Ass Nigga. And then, of course, you had Cassidy. And first and foremost, I was captivated by the Looking Ass Coon because of, of course, I am representative of the Dub Lynch clothing line, who deals a lot with the stereotype controversy and the in-your-face wake up to the not just the urban and hip-hop community, but to the black culture as well. So
we anti-Willie Lynch.
We anti-Willie Lynch, exactly. And that's what the Willie Lynch Clothing Company is all about, is waking up people and bringing that stereotype to the people's face. So tell us a little bit about Looking Ass Coon and how that came about and how you feel about it.
All right, so basically when I first heard it, I saw one of the controversy. I saw that she had used Malcolm X, for her unofficial artwork. And before I passed judgment, I really wanted to get into the understanding of it. So I checked out, her little interview, and she was like, well, in the video, she's comparing herself to Malcolm X because she shoots looking ass niggas at the end of the video, like how Malcolm X was looking ass niggas with a gun. And to me, that whole statement really went beyond just race. It went into a real ignorant mentality because none of her songs ever reflect anything that Malcolm X really stood for. And I posted this on my Facebook that I likened it unto the '88 vice presidential debate when Dan Quayle was debating the dude that was running against him, and Dan Quayle compared himself to John F. Kennedy. And the dude looked at him and was like, I knew John F. Kennedy, and you're no John F. Kennedy. So I'm like, Nicki Minaj, you're no Malcolm X. So in addressing this song, in my response version, it was more or less addressing the mentality. If you notice in the track, I don't even mention her name. I'm really just talking about the issues that created that mentality. And it's crazy because like the first lyric I even thought of, because when I think of like what she does and what she represents, I think of people being plugged in the Matrix. So that first lyric that I wrote down was in the Matrix with self-hate ass coons, still chewing on the steak ass cones. Because to me, that represents people that know it's an illusion out there. And a lot of these people that got deals know what it is, but as opposed to speaking against it, they still go with it. And and then the song just grew from there, and I put it out there. Big ups to Deep Sea for letting me go to his studio out in Phoenix and knocking it out, and it literally became viral. I was not expecting it, and it's like we released it, February 21st, and it just flew. Like someone posted it on Facebook or on YouTube, and it got like 3,000 listens in just a few days.
Right. So, with the Looking Ass Coon, what kind of feedback and response has been most significant to you since you released that?
To me, there's been a lot of people out the East Coast, like in Atlanta, were like, yes, I'm going to listen to this every day. Dude goes hard. And people that have been familiar with me were like, yo, this is one of the illest things you've ever written. And again, it wasn't about being the best. I wasn't trying to top anything. it was just about expressing how I felt about the situation. A lot of people wanted to know where I was coming from with it, like why I use the language. Somebody posted on YouTube and was like, oh, he's calling everybody coons. Coons is another word for African Americans. We just dissing everybody.
Right.
But then somebody that knew where I was coming from, I don't know who they are, but they posted right under that, like, no, he's addressing the mentality. So it's really good that people saw that, because, again, it wasn't about race. If you look at the artwork that I used for it, I used a picture of Uncle Ruckus, the character from, what was that movie? Django.
Yes.
And then I take a picture of Sammy Sosa and this Nigerian actress who bleached their skin, and then a picture of the character Cypher from The Matrix eating the steak, because all of that represents a coonery, so to say. It represents a mentality of people that hate themselves, that don't want to look at the reality of things, and just want to be in an illusion.
And sometimes the term coonery is taken so lighthearted that when people actually see a message behind the term, it can kind of shake and rouse some feathers. I mean, don't you think?
Definitely.
And do you think that that's kind of why people are so afraid to actually address these types of things, and not just people in general, but artists? You had mentioned earlier that that there are certain artists that will not address things like that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their own style, but I mean, like I said, God bless everybody and what they do, but Hannibal Lecter ain't gonna do a Looking Ass Coons verse. Trap House is not gonna do a Looking Ass Coons verse. There's certain artists that their main MO isn't addressing issues in the community or trying to extrapolate something. And hey, everybody has their own lane, but that's cool, because even KRS-One said, with all these other artists doing their thing or focusing on one thing, that's great, because that leaves me a lane that I can be in, that I can just bust niggas' asses on.
Right.
And that's what I'm gonna do, because it's like, look, I got a daughter, so it's like I need her to know that there's somebody out there that's speaking against what she has to fight against growing up. So.
And speaking of daughter, she's adorable, and very talented. You guys just recently did the Take Your Child to Work Day.
Yes, we did.
Had some amazing people like Honey and Empress. They were in there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was great. This was the second Cypher series. I put together the Arizona Inspiration on Fire Cypher series, which was the first all-conscious cipher that for this state. And I did that. I mean, it started last year, and basically it was a response to seeing a lot of the other ciphers out here, because if you notice, I mean, they're really dope, but then you might have one artist that's conscious or nobody at all. And I also saw a disconnect between the conscious scene in Arizona or Phoenix and a lot of people like, on the west side or other types of artists. So I wanted to bridge that. So last year we started with the first Arizona Inspiration on Fire Cypher series, and then in following up with that, I wanted to do something completely different than what was out last year. So I saw in 2012 Ice Cube and Rev Run on the BET Cyphers. They did a cypher with their sons. I was like, what if I could pick some AZ vets that kind of pass that on to their kids, and we get in a cypher with them? And at first I was like, how am I going to do this? Because you never see artists actively advertising that.
Right.
But it's like with anything, once you put out the question, once you put out something in the universe, you never know who to come up with. And it's like, we found some really great talented artists that actually is working with their kids too. I mean, it features me, as you said, Honey, Empress, C Alpha,
yes.
And
shout out C Alpha.
Word, big up C Alpha, True Illuminati backers. Yeah, C Alpha and True Father Allah, True MC, and it was directed by up and coming producer right here, Negro Tarantino. I've worked with him for a minute, and he's just brilliant because I have the concept of the song, and then he took it, and just amplified it. He put it on like steroids and was like, we're gonna make this a Soul Train line cipher. And all the artists was like, what? Like what do you mean? He's like, don't worry, y'all go here, do this, action, and
I thought it was dope. I thought it was truly dope, and I love to see how the kids were engaged. And you had said that some people had kind of came up and said, oh, the kids need to work a little bit harder next time. But I think by letting the kids just do what they do, because they have plenty of time. Why put a rush on a child's talent?
Exactly. And
you don't want to put a rush on their age. So.
And then it's like you get to see where they're at in their element,
right?
So that way, if they do pursue this as they get older, you can see the growth,
right?
So that's what it was all about.
And I think really, to be honest with you, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, C Alpha's daughter is probably the only one that really. She does that. She's the only one that actually really is her own artist.
Right. Like even though that's that's his daughter, she was the oldest one out of all of them, and she already has some stuff established.
Exactly.
I mean, granted,
because I've seen her in person. I think she's dope. So.
Yeah, she's an LMC, and I'm still working with my daughter in the K, but she actually has a CD out on iTunes and Amazon, so y'all could check that out. It's called Summer, and then again, everything I talk about in that verse, I wasn't bullshitting. It's like she has a track. We did a song together called Pharaoh's Father, and it has production on it by Mike Chav, who worked on Erykah Badu's New America album.
Oh wow!
And then right before the artist Angel Hayes got signed, I was able to get Angel Hayes to do a verse for the song my daughter has out called 3D World.
Really?
So
why you been holding this out on me? I didn't even know the baby had music like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some links. Yeah,
please do, and they will be posted on ladyperm.com. So, addressing now the Arizona hip hop community, in Thaahum's opinion, where do you feel we're lacking, and what are your opinions on what's going to take us to that next level?
Well, the good thing is, everything is no matter what is forced to grow or fall off. When I first started rhyming in 99, 2000, I did notice a huge the disconnect was really big, not even amongst not just only amongst West Side artists and artists out in Tempe, but even in each other's clique. We had talked about that earlier, where even in the conscious community, you have what I call studio conscious MCs. You have people that put together stuff because it sounds good, but when you really get to them one-on-one, they don't believe none of that, or they're not consciously working.
They're not living that.
Yeah. So it's because when you hear my music, I'll tell you, in person, I'm a work in progress. I am still, working on.
And y'all know Lady Perm just crazier than that thing. So.
Yeah. Hilarious. Yeah. So I think the good thing is people are starting to network and come together.
Right.
And I also think it's going to take more people to stop complaining and just doing. Like with my stuff. I mean, shoot, I auditioned, what was it, in 2012 for Freeze's Swuma Cypher, and I didn't get picked for that, and I was actually building with Chemistry about that. We had a long conversation about
shout out AZ Chemistry, tap that ash promo,
and I was like, you know what? Okay, so instead of complaining, let me do something about it, because I kind of worked my hustle backwards. Like everyone tries to, they want to get big in their local scene and then they extrapolate. But because I got frustrated early in my career, I did the reverse. I got the songs licensed in Showtime. I had the Hollywood experience, and nobody really knew about me in the home front.
Right.
So now I'm kind of working backwards, and again, instead of complaining, I was like, okay, let me create a movement where I'm not only allowing myself to be showcased, but I can give back to others, and that's what we're doing with this cipher. So I think it's going to take more people creating their own movement, not from a sense of wanting to shine, but from a sense of wanting to improve the culture. Because if you just do it from a sense of just art, everybody's going to see it. If you do it from a competitive standpoint, in my opinion, it's going to fail. Like you said earlier, the competition should be with your own self. And whatever you're going to create that's bigger and better.
We're in our own lanes. We're in our own lanes. I think that's another thing that Arizona is lacking, is that there is so much clicking up going on, that people are kind of, it's not necessarily a blacklist, but it's, if you don't know somebody I know, I have no reason to even have interest in you or work with you. And I'm kind of on that same, where if you don't break those barriers and step outside of your box, how is there ever going to be growth?
Right.
Because a seed doesn't grow without the water or without the soil.
And then on top of that, it's also people being checked to learn that there is folks that nobody knows that's making millions, because the true ballers, the true people that is doing stuff aren't readily known. Like the guy that's the CEO of Twitter, dude's name is like Dick Costolo or something. He has a non-verified account and hardly any followers, yet that motherfucker's making money off of all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Every time you check your notifications, he's making $1.
Yeah,
okay?
and he don't even have a verified account. He's like, I don't have time for this.
Right.
But I got time for these checks that I'm seeing.
Right.
And it's not about popularity. That's why I like to work with a lot of people out of state. Of course, we're going to be doing a remix to Looking Ass Combs. Me and Tahir out of Florida. We're going to be doing a merger of both of our versions, because he did a version called Agent Ass Niggas, which is fire. And I was so inspired to see somebody on, the opposite side of our country doing that. But it shows that our movement is worldwide, So by blending that, it's going to be crazy. And then you have Amerigo Gazaway, who just put out the Yasin Gay mixtape with Mos Def or Yasin Bey vocals over Marvin Gaye chopped up instrumentals. He's going to be doing a remix to the Parent Child Cipher, and he's out of Tennessee. So there's so many things that people don't know that they need to just break out of. Like, it's cool, okay, if I'm not in your cipher, okay, so what? Because there's so many other people with talent that we don't know about, and and we really should have the courage to try to meet all of them. It shouldn't be like, oh, I see myself as better than that person, or this person's way above me, I could never talk to them. I think really that cliquishness is a reflection of people, their own insecurities.
Right.
That's why they don't even bother to reach out to people out of state, because who would have thought to try to reach out to Amerigo Gazaway and say, hey, this is our little movement in Arizona, would you be down to participate? So we got to break out.
And like AZ Chemistry had said on our Dime Rap video, there's different ways that you can support. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you got to go to every single show. You don't have to, location is a circumstance, and it's not a deciding factor of what gets done. You can email, you can text, you can send verses by, with so much technology in our hands. Yeah, we're worldwide
and
now.
And the artists recognize that, like even locally, like I'm in a position where I've hardly been in shows. I got a show tonight that I'm rocking at the Hidden House.
Nice.
And whenever I politic with C Alpha, I'm like, I'm gonna make it out there, and I haven't made it to any of his events yet, or like I haven't been to too many of Honey shows, and I've only checked out a couple of True Fathers radio shows. But the fact that we put this other movement together, they know that every day I'm talking about them, every day I'm pumping them, every day I'm saying, look what we got, come check it out.
Right.
So they know in that essence the support is there.
I agree, and unfortunately, I've only been to one Trulu event.
We gotta make it out there.
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
We might have to team up and just roll out.
Let's do it.
Hey.
See, Alva, we coming for you. 1-0, we coming for you. Boogie, we coming for you. We gonna be there.
Yeah.
We will support Fragile. My sister from the Northwest, we coming for you. We're going to get better on that support. I did go to one event last year, and at the Trulu headquarters, and I thought it was actually real dope.
That's what's up.
And the whole time he had us on live radio, and we had no clue. So it was, C Alpha definitely is one of those vets out here that has... He definitely has it figured out when it comes to support.
Yeah, it was great. Like at the video shoot, they came through. Everybody came through and brought some to our cookout, and also big ups to Joan Eve of Catch Up in the Kitchen for sponsoring our event on the catering. I'm really grateful. She came through last minute and just hooked it up. So y'all definitely gotta check her out. Everyone in the Arizona area.
And her show airs on Tuesday.
Yes, she got a show too. So thanks for just
she's. I love Joan Eve, and hey Saucy, ghetto celebrity plug. But yeah, she definitely is out there. So if ever you need catering, not only is she reasonable and affordable, it just tastes great. So, so As far as the movement of Arizona, what do you have coming next that you think needs to have as much support as possible?
Well, I'm putting out a CD called All In Together now, and it is my first all Arizona collabo. Again, like I said, I kind of worked backwards, and I feel like it's time to do that. So the first single on that was We Live the Music. That's that song with I did with Mystic Blue and Honey, where we shot the video at the fair. And I got a song with Miss Too Much that we're actually going to perform tonight at the Hidden House.
Hi, Miss Too Much.
And that's going to be our one of the following singles. I actually have a song with this model out here, Kennedy Allure. I'm basically really just branching out and doing things that you would have never thought. I'm just.
I love it.
I'm Kaiser Soze in it. Like, you didn't expect Kevin Spacey to be Kaiser Soze. I'm the guy that they least expect to do it, and here we go.
Now, you had referenced earlier when proving a point or supporting a point that you were making was with the Dave Chappelle approach.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, I tell people, and I mention this in all my interviews, if you're an artist that has a message or an artist that's really trying to reverse a stereotype or a condition, I always tell people, no matter what type of art it is, poetry, art, artwork, graffiti, whatever, I feel you have to do what I call Dave Chappelling it with your craft. And what that means is that if you looked at all the Dave Chappelle skits, every one of them funny as hell, at least in my opinion, but they all had a message to them.
Right.
But a lot of people were so
like the one that stands out to me is the one with the cyberspace. When he was like, all the people kept popping up, and the nasty with the donkey and the what was it, a goat or something like that. But in the message in that was him making a point of how much we are spending our time and our lives are based now on the internet, our entertainment. We can shop from our bed. We don't even have to get out. We don't have to get in the car. So that's the one that stands out to me.
I like the Blind Klansman, the black guy.
Oh, the Clayton Bigsby.
Yes.
He was that nigga was beating on my car.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I thought that was great too.
But yeah, in the way it's like he did that in a sense where people were being entertained, but many didn't realize there was a message in it. And I feel like now, as artists, with our type of style, we have to do that covertly because the system, I'm gonna just put it out there, the system does things covertly, whatever you want to label the system. And if you have, again, a message, you have to do that covertly. That's why in all my music, you're gonna hear me rapping over stuff like this. Big ups to my producer out in Cali, Sticks. You're amazing. But I'm always gonna put my words, my message, involved in it. So it's like, everybody just keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Well, again, I thank you for taking this time to hang out with me and speak to the people a little bit using the platform of ladyperm.com.
Yes, big ups to Lady Perm. You're too awesome for this. I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'm truly, now that I have had a better look at who thaahum is and what thaahum represents, I'm definitely impressed, and I salute you.
Thank you.
And you absolutely have Lady Perm support 100% in anything that you do. And I encourage all of you guys to support too. If you don't know who thaahum is, shame on you. You better learn. And how can they find you?
I'm all over the place. Facebook, Twitter. Give me at Twitter at thaahum. It's THAAHUM. Thaahum.com. Again, THAAHUM. I got a Bandcamp, thaahum.bandcamp.com. Put out an album in like 2012 called Monsters Ball. It's still crazy. It's relevant. Most of y'all probably haven't heard it, but check it. It's a really dope album. It has production by Mike Chav on there. I got a collabo with this artist named Soul Khan, who did his thing out in South by Southwest. I got scratches by DJ TJ the King, J Electronica's DJ. So, it's a dope piece of work. And I gotta give a shout out again to everybody, that I've been working with. First, big shout out to you for giving us an outlet, for other people to see us. Big ups to Mystic Blue, big ups to Honey, big ups to the director, Negro Tarantino, your favorite director, No Burning Shoes, inside joke.
Yeah, I didn't know the joke, but it sounded funny to me. I'm over here tickled.
We'll talk about that.
So speaking of real quick, and then we'll go back to the shout outs. Where does thaahum come from? Explain that.
Thaahum is a cuneiform word that means intellect. I picked that as my MC name because I felt like that was like the missing element that I heard that I wasn't hearing in hip hop. You know, I grew up listening to like Ice Cube, Public Enemy, KRS-One, and as hip hop moved forward, it wasn't really progressing; it was degressing. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put that element in it. So it's thaahum, the Mike's Captain. But yeah, big ups also to Cafe Nubia out in Atlanta. They spotted me with the shirt,
nice.
the egg. So
feeling it.
Right.
I hear he's gonna get a double inch T-shirt after this interview. So
yes, indeed.
So again, any other shout outs that you'd like to?
Just big ups to everybody that has always supported, and big ups to you, the viewer. Whatever you're doing, just keep mashing at it, because rejection is God's protection. If you up against a wall or whatever, and it just seems frustrating, just keep mashing, because your purpose is to let your light shine. Develop. If you don't know your lane, develop it. You know,
right.
Find what you're good at and just keep moving.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you very much, thaahum, and I look forward to seeing the growth of not just you and what you're doing, but us as a community. Hip hop is a culture. There's different types of hip hop, but there's no expiration date on it. It's not going nowhere, and so therefore it is a culture. And I definitely salute everyone in the community. So with that said, thank you again. We salute you. LadyPerm.com, LADIEPURM.com, and link to thaahum's music will also be posted on the site along with this feature. So again, thanks for your time and salute.
Word. Peace.